Do you sense it like I do? The lack of social connectedness that is doing so much harm to many of us individually and all of us collectively? When we connect with others, we find new ways to strengthen our health and theirs and our community's resilience. But when we are in a state of social disconnectedness, more often than not, we suffer both individually and collectively. Perhaps you agree, the deficit in social connectedness we now face has become so massive and urgent it is impossible to ignore. On the health side, social isolation and loneliness are helping to drive mental health and substance abuse disorders like depression, anxiety, drug overdoses, and suicides. Combined, these disorders afflict some 40% of Americans. On the community resilience side, our capacity to act for the common good is being stymied by polarizing fault lines. From systemic racism and wealth inequality to our societal response to COVID-19, as well as the rifts sparking the recent Black Lives Matter and Capitol Hill riots. As on the health side, the common denominator underlying these divides is a lack of connectedness with others. My name is Dr. Harris Allen, and I for one believe we can do much better. With over 35 years of experience in health and healthcare, I say, let's do something different. Let's publicly acknowledge this deficit and tackle it with intention. Let's focus on a simple act that is within easy reach in our daily lives, fostering social connection. It is evident that many of us can do more to extend and receive acts of relatedness with others. In fact, the more that we work through any anxieties that arise and connect with others with different demographics, histories, and circumstances than our own, the more we contribute to the reduction of this deficit. A chance meeting that I described in an Atlanta Journal-Constitution op-ed this past July illustrates what I mean by this step. On June 4th, I participated in a Black Lives Matter march that ended up in Atlanta's Centennial Park. At one point, I happened upon a Georgia National Guardsman. We had a candid, respectful conversation. It turns out he was Major General Tom Carden, the Adjutant General. We have since stayed in contact, a fine example of what I've come to appreciate as beyond tribe social connection at work. This step is all too often glossed over in policy prescriptions. It's as if we have a collective blind spot. What is needed is a new systemic, nonpartisan effort that encourages individuals to freely reach out to connect with others, both within and especially beyond their tribes. The focus also needs to be on institutional stakeholders like employers, government, places of worship, and schools. The more these stakeholders reinforce cultures that support fostering social connection, the greater our chances for success. In a call to action, now under review for publication, I suggest that this effort position fostering social connection as a new civic responsibility for us to engage in as good citizens. Initially, this effort also needs to include at least two components. One is a broad-based educational campaign to raise public awareness. The other are what have been labeled beyond the medical model interventions. These interventions are in current use and have been identified as prototypes for future innovation. These prototypes build on available evidence and resources to foster social connection, to improve health and bridge divides while complying with pandemic guidelines. Many details still need to be worked through. For example, how to build on these prototypes, who should spearhead this initiative, how to fund it. Yet, if this call leads to further dialogue, it will have served its purpose. Let's begin to lean into greater social connection in a big way. Here's my contact information. If you like this idea, I hope we hear from you. Thank you.